The G7, you know the G7, okay? The G7, U.S. and its major allies, is now a smaller aggregate GDP than the BRICS, China and its allies.
And which are the BRICS for our listeners who don't know?
Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That's the original BRICS, they're 20 years old. And they have recently been joined by 6 other countries, including Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and some others. And there are about a dozen that have applied, more or less. So the BRICS is already aggregate GDP larger than the G7. You know, why is this important? Because every country's leaders, whether they are right-wing, left-wing, they're all readjusting to what? To the changing world economy. If you're a small African country and you need to build a railroad, it used to mean you would go to London, New York, Paris, and hope and ask and see if they'll bring their bankers to meet with you and you could arrange a loan to develop your country. If you're having trouble selling your products, where would you go? If you have your trouble buying, where would you? Now everybody has a second option. You don't have to go west, you go east. Go to New Delhi, go to Beijing. Why? They have more money. It's not, it doesn't have nothing, I'm exaggerating, but it doesn't have much to do with ideology. So, but not much. It has to do with a changing world economy. And even if you're a partisan of one or the other, you don't want to be left out of, you know. Emmanuel Macron, the leader currently of France, who's on his way out today, his people have rejected him totally. But before that happened, he made noises he wanted to join the BRICS. They turned him down, by the way. You know, they don't need him. That's the Americans don't get it. Look, when the war in Ukraine breaks out, the Russians invade Ukraine, the United States decides that the way to handle this, to defeat the Russians quickly, is by imposing on them the mother of all sanctions. We won't buy Russian oil and gas. Russia depends heavily on oil and gas, which it has a lot of, and exporting it to Europe, which is a consumer and doesn't have much perfect relationship with